Sagittarius. Hello, Sagittarius and Sag rising. Well, these are certainly interesting messages I got for you, Sagittarius. Now, because I am a Sagittarius, I'm going to give a little bit of my perspective on these cards because I've already lived these cards. So I'm just wondering if some other Saggies out there are feeling the same way. All right. So Sagittarius, Sag rising. Sagittarius is the cheerleader of the zodiac. We Sagittarians are enthusiastic about being enthusiastic. I always define myself as Tigger on crack. So, and we have this kind of happy, boundless energy about us, and Sagittarius in general. We're the ultimate optimist. So I just want to put that forward first before I go through all these cards here. Now, this is a reading for January 2026, but what I don't think that these cards are saying this is what's going to happen in January of 2026. What I think these cards are saying is this is what has already been going on for you, Sagittarius and Sag rising. And now you're starting to understand why this all had to happen. Okay. So let me say I'm using the Moon Witch Tarot deck. I love this deck. Found it in Sedona. Very expensive deck, but it's absolutely gorgeous. So let me go through these cards with you, Sagittarius. Now, I am late Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, 0 degrees of Sag is roughly the end of November, November 22nd-ish, 23rd. And that, why I say ish, because it does kind of change a little bit because the leap year. So it kind of pushes the date forward or back a little bit because of leap year each year. So anyway, early Sagittarius begins with the last week in November and ends around December 21st. So why I want to call this to your attention is because for several months, and what for some of you might feel like months and months and months and months and months and months, Saturn has been in Pisces. Now, Sagittarius and Pisces aren't the best bedfellows, so to speak. Sagittarius is a fire sign. We Saggies can get so enthusiastic that we can just run right over your feelings and not even mean it. Sagittarius can be very blunt with their verbiage, very forthright, forthcoming, and kind of can just run over people. And we don't mean you any harm. It's just usually our great enthusiasm that gets the best of us. But Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. We want the big picture. We want expansion. And then with Saturn in Pisces and also Neptune in Pisces has been traveling right alongside of Saturn, squaring the Sagittarians out there. And this is slowly coming to a close towards the end of February. So that will give us Sagittarians, Geminis, Pisces, and Virgos a little sigh of relief. But I think that Saturn is all about boundaries, structure, the long haul. Saturn looks at the bigger picture in the long haul sense, so to speak. Saturn energy does not jump into things with great enthusiasm. Saturn energy stands back and assesses the situation, unless of course it's Saturn in Pisces, which that Saturn's not thrilled in Pisces, because Pisces is all about dissolving boundaries. It's all about sensitivity, intuition. It's the two fish, one swimming upstream, one swimming downstream, that duality, which doesn't go super well hand in hand with Saturn. So Saturn and Neptune have been in Pisces, kind of at odds, squaring Sagittarius now for months. It's coming to a close towards the end of February. Hooray. But why I'm saying this is because my birthday is near the end of Sagittarius, and this whole spread, I don't know if the cards are just talking directly to me. I hope they are also speaking to you. But what this whole spread symbolizes to me is what I've kind of had to deal with throughout the entire year of 2025, and how it has come supposedly to a head, so to speak. So let me explain. So the first card out here, and these are beautiful, they have gold trim, and I love anything shiny. Okay. The first card out was Six of Swords. Okay. Now, the Six of Swords, I swear this reading wasn't for me, so I'm hoping some other Sagittariuses pipe up here in the comments and tell me if you're going through this also. I walked away from many things in 2025. Now, allegedly, that's right on track with 22. I had to have a sip of tea. Sorry. Allegedly, that's right on track with 2025 being a 9-year in numerology, which 9 is the accumulation of things, and then it brings everything to an end. So, endings. So, I walked away from many things in 2025. The next card out, Three of Swords. Okay, this is heartbreak. Quite obviously, it doesn't, and they're in the clouds, it's raining, and your heart has been gutted, stabbed 3 times with those swords. Now, let's face it, this is heartbreak. That's crystal clear. Okay. Now, just because it's heartbreak, that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad or awful or any of that. Because to me, and perhaps to you, other fellow Saggies, this symbolizes the things that I had to let go of in 2025 that just were no longer working for me. And there is nothing like a Saturn square to call to your attention what is not working. And it's time to let it go. So, Two of Swords. Lots of swords here, Sag. I'm sorry. Okay, the Two of Swords here, this is a decision. And so I can't tell you how much I struggled with making these decisions to leave these things behind. Now, I'm telling my story because I think many of you Sagittarians and Sag risings out there are going to be able to relate to this very strongly. So, and moving forward with the clarifiers here, this is from my own deck, Land of Enchantment. And now I'm really hungry. I was already really hungry. This is the most amazing cheese enchiladas done in Christmas style, which is red and green chili from my favorite Santa Fe restaurant, La Choza. And the caption on here is satisfaction and fulfillment. So in order for me, I know personally in 2025, in order for me to get any satisfaction and fulfillment, I had to walk away from not 1, not 2, but 3 maybe even 4, but that I didn't even start. So I had to walk away from 3 situations. I was very torn about making those decisions. Okay? I had to walk away from those 3, and they were all employment situations. I might as well just say it like it is. In order for me to feel satisfied and fulfilled. So by staying at these places, this was not happening for me personally. Now, and the reason for that is they were energy vampires for me, and that's garlic, and you're supposed to eat garlic to ward off the vampires. This is from a farm, and I took this picture at the farmer's market, Santa Fe, New Mexico. So I think there comes a time, and there's nothing like Saturn to call this to your attention, is when something's just no longer working. And even though there are parts of it that still work, like all 3 of these things that I had to leave behind, I left behind people that I really adored, that I do hope to spend time with moving forward, but in a completely different capacity. But it was just, it was a super, super hard decision. I was at a crossroads. On all 3 of these situations, I was at that crossroad and I had to make this decision. So now I'm thinking that some of you may have either went through this in 2025, and I'm going to wrap this up here with the rune, or you are a little bit later Sag than me, or you haven't managed to walk away from these situations where they were just sucking the life out of you for one reason or another, and you haven't left yet. So for you, it may come that you aren't given a choice, that you have to give these situations up. You will be forced into a crossroad. And one of the things that I've learned throughout my whole life is there are 2 planets you can't argue with because they're going to win. One is Pluto, the other is Saturn. Saturn is karma. Saturn is chronos, timing. Saturn is discipline, responsibility. And Saturn is also cutting ties with things that no longer serve you or fulfill you. Now, because of the Saturn in Pisces squaring Sagittarian Sun and your ascendant as well, and as well as squaring Gemini, Saturn's going to say it's time for some endings here. This isn't where you're supposed to be. It's a 9-year. You need to get out of this. And if you, Sagittarius, and you're very, very end of December, we're talking, December 19, 20, 21-ish, if you haven't made these decisions, I would not be shocked if you didn't make them very soon, or you wandered into Monday morning of a 1-year new beginnings in numerology and you just put the hammer down. Because the other thing about Sagittarius is when we do an about face, we can do it faster than any other sign on the planet. We just turn around and say, oops, bye-bye, I'm out of here. So to kind of put the frosting on this, what I want to show you here is the Nordic rune, and this is Othala. And what Othala represents here is the homeland, legacy, heritage. This also represents home and domestic life. And this morning, I woke up and I've been having a really hard time getting to sleep much before 2 a.m. Now, I am a night owl to begin with, but my schedule's been all wacky from the holidays, and December has been, finally getting back here from being in New Mexico and having a house guest, working a couple of days, leaving, coming back, working a couple of days, leaving again, coming back, then the holidays. It's just been crazy. And not to mention these decisions that I've had to make. But last night was one of those nights that I just didn't get to sleep until it was almost 2 a.m. So I slept in this morning, which is fine, but you don't get a whole lot done for the day when you don't get out of bed until 9:30 or 10 a.m. But I just laid there. And just let me tell you that your home life and domestic life here with Othala, when I looked at this card, I'm like, okay, I get what this is all about. This morning, I just laid in bed with my beautiful ragdoll cats. One was up over my head, the other, boom, boom, and he's right here beside me. You can see his fur here. You know, he likes to curl up under my left armpit. He was under my right armpit this morning, though. And then Miss Gigi's over there on the day bed. And I woke up and I was just laying there and I'm like, you know, this is what I want for me in this 2026 new year, 1 year, new beginnings. I want to be able to lay in bed a little longer in the mornings on my days off and make sure I have the days off. And I want to be able to just lounge there with my beautiful cats who I adore. Ragdoll cats are the sweetest cats on the planet. And I was just so grateful to be able to lay there this morning in bed and just take it all in. I was very grateful for these endings, even though leaving some people behind. I didn't leave them behind, but I won't see them regularly, as regular. And having to come to this crossroads, I'm very grateful for all of this because I'm looking forward to 2026 as a year for me of satisfaction and fulfillment. And any of the energy vampires that I may encounter, I think I got rid of. This wasn't a person per se. So your energy vampire doesn't necessarily mean it's a person. This can mean a situation, um, a rental where you're living. It can mean a job. It could mean maybe you've been using, I don't know, a pet sitter that you're not happy with, and you just finally are like, you're tired of making excuses for them. Or it can be a relative that you're like, you know, I've just had it with them. They suck the life out of me anytime I'm around them, or they just deplete my energy. And a Sagittarius has tons of energy. So if a situation is depleting your energy, Sag, it's time to say bye-bye so you can feel more at peace in your own life and get that satisfaction and fulfillment. And also, Sagittarius, towards the end of February, Saturn and Neptune are transitioning out of Pisces, out of squaring your sun and any other late Sagittarian planets that you may have, moving into Aries, which will be a little sigh of relief. So I just want to say that for you Saggies that have, I described it the other day to someone, is, you know, you're taking 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, but you don't even remember where the hell you're going because this kind of war has been going on, you know, now for months. Do I do this? Do I not do this? You know, stop, go. Confusion. Neptune, Pisces is confusion, or it can be the lower side, shadow side of Neptune and Pisces. So, Sag, I hope that if this resonates with you, because it certainly resonates with me, and I wish for you all the best and the most amazing 2026, where you can let that Tigger on crack enthusiasm free, because you have ditched the energy vampires, or you're soon going to do it. And even though it was very hard and you let it get to a crossroad, I believe that you probably did the best thing for you. At least I hope so. All right, I'm going to come up here and say hello. Hi, everyone. I'm Sabrina. This is Tree of Life Inner Guidance. Thank you so much for being here. I would so appreciate if you would subscribe to the channel, like this video, and I would love to hear from you Saggies out there. If this resonated with you, what you've been going through, perhaps very recently, mine was all very recent, or if some of you feel like this is up and coming for you, and then some of you might have already done this. If you're early Sag, end of November, and the earlier dates in December, you may have already went through this. And I'm sure that you are well on your way to satisfaction and fulfillment. So thank you so much for being here, Saggies. And I hope this resonates with you. Do let me know. And Happy New Year to you.